In this lesson, we'll be doing a quadratic number pattern problem that is adapted from the question paper. So now, we've been given the sequence -145, -122, and -101, and it goes further. And 3.1 says, write down the value of T4. We've been given 3 terms and we are requested to find the 4th term. You don't have to go by looking for the equation first, then plug T4. But this is a strategy which I'm going to show you, which you can use. So the first number is -145. The second one is -122. And the other one is -101. Let me shift this thing this side. And we are requested to look for the number that is here on T4. So this is what we can do. We have to find the first differences. We know that they are not constant. We are going to say that -145, I'm sorry, it's -122 minus -145. That gives us 23. And we're going to say that -101 minus -122, that gives us 21. And here we are sure that the first differences form a linear sequence. They form a linear sequence. And we don't know what will be here yet. And we're going to go look for the second differences. The second differences are constant in a quadratic sequence, as we have said in the past videos. So we're going to say that 21 minus 23, this will give us -2. And we know that it's going to be -2 throughout. So now, remember what I have highlighted in one of the videos, that to get 21 here, you have to add these 2 to get 21. So now, to get the number here, we must add these 2. What is -21? What is +21 minus 2? Well, that is 19. So we're going to write 19 here. This means that the number here is 19. Then again it applies in this sense. To get -122, we must add these 2. To get -101, we must add these 2. This means that to get the number here, we must add these 2. I hope you understand this. So we're going to add them. We're going to say that -101 plus 19, and these are going to give us -82. This is how we can find the 4th term. I hope you understand this. So here is -82. That is the first answer. Let's erase and continue. So we're going to go to 3.2 now. Show that the general term is Tn is equal to -n squared plus 26n minus 170. We might need all those differences that we have done in the previous sequence. Let's return them. Okay, so we're going to use them. Remember what we have said, that the standard form of a quadratic sequence is that we're working on 3.2. Is that Tn is equal to an squared plus bn plus c. So now, remember what we said, that this will be our first differences, this will be our second differences. So we're going to say that this is 2a on the second differences. On the first differences, we're going to say that 3a plus b, and on the second differences, we're going to say that a plus b plus c. If you are comfortable with the method of simultaneous, you can use it. But I'm not going to use it since most of the students are not comfortable with simultaneous. So we're going to start by solving for a. we're going to say that 2a is equal to negative 2. We divide both sides by 2 and a is equal to negative 1. And we're going to say that 3a plus b is equal to the first term of the first differences. In this case, it's equal to 23. So 3a plus b is equal to 23. Where we see a, we're going to plug negative 1. And plus b is equal to 23. So this is negative 3 plus b is equal to 23. This means that b will be equal to 26. We will add the negative 3 and transpose it to the right hand side. So now we're going to solve for c. We know that a plus b plus c is equal to the first term of the given sequence. That is how much? That is negative 145. A plus b plus c equal to negative 145. The value of a is minus 1. The value of b is 26, positive 26. And we're looking for the value of c. Then it's equal to minus 145. So what is negative 1 plus 26? That is 25. 25 plus c is equal to negative 145. And we're going to say that c is equal to negative 145 minus 25. We will take the 25 to the other side and it will change the sign. And c is equal to minus 170. Now we can go on and write our formula. Our formula is given as Tn is equal to a, that is negative 1. So we can say negative n squared. Then plus b, that is 26n, minus 170. And we have proven it. They've said prove that Tn is equal to negative n squared plus 26n minus 170. And here it is. We have written it as Tn equal to negative n squared plus 26n minus 170. I hope you understand this. So let's see. The third question says, between which two terms of the quadratic number pattern will there be a difference of minus 121? And that is for 4 marks. So what we're going to do in this case is that let's erase here so that we can have enough space to deal with this question. It's not as hard as you think it is. First of all, let's write our sequence. Okay, our sequence was given as our sequence was given as Tn equal to negative n squared plus 26n minus 170. So the way in which we solve this problem is we have been given the difference between two terms, but we don't know which two terms these are gonna be. What we're going to do, or what we know, is that, for example, here we have T1, we have got T2, we've got T3. And we know that the term that comes after this term, for example, let's look at T1, T2, and T3. Okay, we can say that T1, if T1 is equal to n, write T2 in terms of T1 and n. We can say that T2 is equal to n plus 1. You understand this? Or let's put it this way. If here we have Tn, the next one will be Tn plus 1. And and the next one again will be tn plus 2, like this. This is how we can put it in a simple form. What we mean here is that if here we have got term number 1, the next one will be term number 1 plus 1, and the other one will be term number 1 plus 2. This will give us term number 1, term number 2, and term number 3. I hope you understand this. So we're going to use the same procedure. What we're going to do in this case is that we're going to say that we have the last term. We'll assume that we have the last term, that is tn. Tn is called the last term. What will be the term before the last term? This will be tn minus 1. Because if here it was t5, this will be t5 minus 1 and will be t4. Do you understand this? So what we're going to do here is to assume that tn stands for a certain value which we don't know, and tn minus 1 stands for a certain value that comes before tn here. So we're going to subtract the 2. When we subtract the 2, we must get a difference of negative 1 to 1. So we're going to say that tn minus tn minus 1 is equal to negative 1 to 1. Tn is all that you see here. And let's look for tn minus 1. Tn minus 1 will be equal to, remember that if we're looking for t2, we're going to say that where we see n, we plug 2. But now we are looking for tn minus 1. Where we see n, we plug n minus 1. And tn minus 1 will be negative, then we plug n minus 1, then we square it, then it's plus 26 multiplied by n minus 1 multiplied by, minus 170. That is minus 170. So this will be negative, and we will expand this bracket as n minus 1 multiplied by n minus 1 plus 26n minus 26 minus 170. Okay, so this will be negative. N times n will give us n squared. N times negative 1 will give us negative n. And negative 1 times n will give us negative n. And negative 1 times negative 1 will give us positive 1. And then we're going to say that plus 26n. We can say negative 26 minus 170. Negative 26 minus 170. This will give us negative 196. This will be negative 196. Let's take the page down. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add the like terms within these brackets. N squared. What is negative n minus n? This gives us negative 2n plus 1 plus 26n minus 196. Then we're going to say that negative times n squared will give us negative n squared. Negative times negative 2n will give us positive 2n. And negative times positive 1 will give us negative 1 plus 26n minus 196. And we're going to say that we add like terms. This will be negative n squared. What is 2n plus 26n? This will give us positive 28n. And negative 1 minus 196 will give us negative 197. So this is tn minus 1. So we're going to say that tn minus 1 is equal to negative 121. So what is tn? Tn is given by negative n squared. To illustrate this nicely, we say that tn minus tn minus 1 is equal to negative 121. What is tn? Tn is the is the equation that we have solved. That is negative n squared plus 26n minus 170 minus, we put it inside the brackets. We are going to plug Tn minus 1 inside the brackets. Tn minus 1 is all that you see here. This will be negative n squared plus 28n minus 197. Then we equate it to negative 121. Then it's going to give us negative n squared plus 26n minus 170. Negative times negative n squared, that's positive n squared. Negative times positive 28, that's negative 28n. And negative times negative 197, that's positive 197. And it's equal to negative 121. So now we're going to cancel. The negative n squared cancels the n squared. And we're going to add the remaining like terms. So we're going to say that 26n minus 28n, that's going to give us negative 2n. And we're going to say that negative 170 plus 197. Negative 170 plus 197, that gives us 27. So it's positive 27. Then it's equal to negative 121. Then negative 2n is equal to negative 121 minus 27. We take the 27 to the right side and it changes the sign. This means that negative 2n is equal to, what is negative 121 minus 27? We're going to minus 27. That's going to give us negative 148. And we divide both sides by negative 2, both sides by negative 2. And what we are left with is that the negative 2 cancels the negative 2. And n is equal to negative 148. Negative 148 divided by negative 2, that gives us 74. This means that the two terms are between Tn and Tn minus 1. That's going to be Tn is 74 and T 74 minus 1, which is equal to T 73. This means that the two terms which will give us a difference of negative 121 are term number 74 and term number 73. At your own time, plug T74 inside the equation. Okay, let's just do it. What is T74? T74. Just plug it inside this equation here. Inside this equation. The equation that we have found in the first place. Plug it in here. That is, let's plug it and be sure that we are doing the correct things here. Okay. So now, T74 will be negative, then we say 74 squared minus is plus 26, open brackets, 74 minus 170. That gives us negative 3722. Negative 3722. Negative 3722. And then what about T73? Now we're going to plug 73 on the place of n. This will be, let's punch it on the calculator, negative 3601. Negative 3601. Now let's subtract. T74 minus T73 is equal to negative 3722 minus, open brackets, negative 3601. If we have done everything correctly, we must get negative 121. Let's do it. Negative 3722 minus, open brackets, negative 3601. And the answer is negative 121. And we have done the correct thing. That's what we are asked to prove. That which two terms will give us a difference of negative 121. If you don't understand, then repeat the video as many times until you understand it. Let's go to the last one. What value must be added to each term in the number pattern so that the value of the maximum term in the new number pattern formed will be 1? So, with this one, we must first understand how to use a parabola which has a turning point. So, I'm going to say to you, let's leave it in this video. We will do it one day after we have done functions and graphs. Thank you for watching.